Okay, this is my presentation on the theory of planned behavior as it relates to the eating disorder that my group assessed, which was to stop eating when full. So this is my presentation by Keila. So what is the theory of planned behavior? The theory of planned behavior, also known as TPB for short, it was first created by Agen to show the relationship between intentions and behavior. The factors of the planned theory of behavior include attitude, subjective norm, perceived behavior control, and intention. TPB suggests that collectively, perceived behavioral control, attitude, and subjective norms should all be able, and intention should be able to predict behavior. So, literature review. So the articles that we picked as a group were all like various different types of eating disorders as they related to the theory of planned behavior. The three that I used for my paper specifically was a paper or a journal by Agen and the other author I cannot remember, but that paper focused on female college students who perceived that they were obese or to participate in their questionnaire to assess intentions as they related to behavior. And then the second article that I chose for my paper dealt with anorexia nervosa, which is a very, very hard eating disorder to treat. So the purpose of that study in that questionnaire was to see if the theory of planned behavior control could predict the intention to want to recover from anorexia nervosa. And the third article I chose was how the theory of behavior control of planned behavior could assess the eating habits of older African Americans. And that article just more so focused on the diet of older African Americans and if the theory of planned behavior control could assess the intentions for older African American adults to want to eat better. So as far as dieting is concerned, so those were the three articles I used for discussing different various types of eating behaviors as it relates to the theory of planned behavior. The purpose of the current research was to assess whether the theory of planned behavior would show intention to stop eating when full. I hypothesized that results would indicate that attitude and perceived behavior control would be the biggest predictors of the intention to stop eating when full. Method. I was able to gather 14 people from social media that were willing to participate in a survey that I posted using the BSU Qualtrics link. I used my own personal social media page to gather my participants, and I was only able to gather 14 people that all finished and completed the survey. Initially, my BSU Qualtrics had 22 people on there, but all 22 people did not completely finish the survey. So using Jamovi, those were counted out. So I only have 14 people in total that honestly finished the full survey. Most of the participants I gathered were African Americans. It was posted on my personal social media page. and majority of the participants were female. 69% of my participants were female, while 31% of my participants were male. Participants responded to a questionnaire with items assessing attitude, perceived behavioral control, intention, and normative pressure to stop eating when full. There were also demographic questions about age, race, ethnicity, and gender and sex. TPB measures. So like I said, what that last slide said, there were the purpose of the questionnaire was to assess attitude, perceived behavior, control, um, subjective norms, and intention. So there was 6 questions in total assessing attitude. Well, 6 questions in total for all 4 subjects as far as attitude, behavior, perceived behavior, control, subjective norm, and intention. There were 4 reverse scoring questions though for attitude. The purpose of the attitude questions were to measure participants' attitude on how positive or negative they felt to stop eating when full. The purpose of the reverse scoring questions was to reduce participant bias for reliability purposes. Perceived behavior control, like I said before, there were 6 questions. 2 of those questions were reverse scoring, and the purpose of the perceived behavior control questions was to measure how much control participants felt they had had to stop eating when full. Also, the purpose of the reverse scoring questions was to reduce participant bias for the purpose of reliability. There were 6 normative pressure questions. 3 of those questions were reverse scored. The purpose of the normative pressure questions was to measure pressure participant felt from important people in their lives to stop eating when full. Intention. There were 6 intention questions and 3 reverse scored intention questions. The purpose of the intention questions was to measure participants' intention to stop eating when full. Procedure. Participants were recruited from social media, my personal social media page. The survey could be accessed through a hyperlink using BSU Qualtrics, with the first question being consent to participate in the study, and as well as asking if the participant was 18 and over. Therefore, a question asking the age of the participant. Then attitude, perceived behavior control, intention, and normative pressure questions were asked in randomized order to each participant. Then there were demographic questions pertaining to sex assigned at birth, gender identity, and ethnicity of participant. Lastly, participants were thanked for their time and participation in the survey. Results. I don't know if this is a glare. That's what I'm trying to fix that. It's just really, really bright. Okay. Results. So, can't really. This is the results. I have a graph right there. It's just I don't know why that's not. So the results of this, what's on this slide, is the descriptive statistics among the TB B measures. So this, with the initial inspection of these results, says or shows that mean, perceived behavior control, and intention were favorable because they scored higher than 4 in the mean. So this is behavior control 5.8 and intention was 5.0, and attitude and normative pressure mean was lower than 5. So those were not favorable. But as far as like the way that it was explained to me, anything under 4 would mean that it's not favorable, because that would be like under the medium on the 7-point scale, which was what the survey or questionnaire was based on a 7-point scale. So anything under 4 was not favorable. So according to those results, behavior control, intention, normative pressure, and attitude would all be favorable. But the 2 that I had the most favorable was behavior control and intention. These are the correlation results. And from these correlation results, intention, behavior control, and attitude were all strongly correlated with each other. And as I stated before, the purpose of the purpose of the plan theory behavior control is to assess whether attitude, perceived behavior control, normative pressure, and intention collectively can predict behaviors. But in my results, intention, behavior control, and attitude were strongly correlated with each other. However, normative pressure didn't seem to strongly correlate with attitude and behavioral control. However, normative pressure was the closer to having some statistical significance with intention. But for the most part, behavioral control had the highest predictor of behavior, or intention for behavior. But I'll go over that in my next slide. Okay, here's that. So to test the hypothesis that attitude, perceived behavior control, normative pressure will combine to significantly predict intention to stop eating when full, a multiple linear regression was conducted using Jamovi, and inputting the data results from Qualtrics into Jamovi. And I predicted that attitude and behavior control would have the highest impact on intention to stop eating when full. But I was right. My hypothesis was right with behavioral control, but not so much so with attitude. So, as I stated before, behavioral control had the highest statistically significant results when for the intention to stop eating when full. So here are the numbers. I'm trying to find strongest. Okay, so behavior control had a p-value of 0.0009, which is statistically significant, and stats anything under anything 0.05 and below is statistically significant. And as you can see here, behavioral control came in at 0.009, which means it was very statistically significant and the strongest predictor of behavior intention. So therefore, behavior intention accounts for most of the variability in participants' intention to stop eating when full. Attitude and normative pressure didn't add anything to the prediction of intentions as far as the linear regression model was concerned. So discussion. I hypothesized that attitude and perceived behavior control be the strongest predictor of intention to stop eating when full. However, results indicated only that perceived behavior control was the strongest prediction and intentions to stop eating with food. Um, Even though I hypothesized that attitude would have a lot to do with it, and it didn't. I believe that there would have been stronger predictions of attitude and normative pressure, as well as intention as well, if I had a larger sample size. I only was able to gather, like I said before, 22 people, but those 22 people didn't even finish the survey. I was only able to have 14 people that completely finished the survey, which I'm grateful for as well. But I think that if I was to do this study again in the future or anybody else, I think at the least a number of 80 would be like 80 people willing to do the survey would be very great for having just a larger sample size and more accurate maybe too. Also, I think I would have gotten a stronger correlation between intention, behavioral control, subjective norms, and attitude if I would have had maybe a more diverse um set of participants. Like I said, I posted on my personal social media page, and the people who I had respond to the survey the most were African Americans. So I feel if I would have been able to pull my participants from various different sources other than just social media, and if I would have had a larger sample size, those could have affected my results so that I would have seen, maybe I hypothesized that I would have gotten more of a stronger indicator that attitude, subjective norm, and intention played in the intention to stop eating when full. Our replication study is important in psychology because it focuses on the theory of planned behaviors, more specifically how intentions can predict behaviors. Our study was done specifically toward the eating behavior to stop eating when full. However, I believe that any study regarding eating habits in general is important to psychology, since it is the study of people and everything, just to like understand eating behaviors better, since we here in America specifically have problems with a lot of diseases from poor dieting, should I say, like obesity and cardiovascular diseases and diabetes, high blood pressure, different things of that nature can all be correlated and traced back to people's diet. So I think with that in mind, and cardiovascular disease being one of the highest causes of mortality in America, if we can focus on in psychology, like studies like the theory of planned behavior and how it relates to diet and eating, we could possibly help find solutions for certain um, diseases and mortality when it comes to like eating and stuff. For future research on eating habits and applied theory of planned behavior, I think it would be interesting to see the study that I did on African Americans specifically, just because like that was what my sample size sample of participants mainly was. I feel like I got the results that normative pressure didn't play a huge role in it. And I hypothesized that is because our normative pressure from where how I grew up is I grew up to eat everything on the plate and not to waste food. And I'm just really curious to see if that normative pressure has more of an effect if I would have had a larger sample size, or if there is any significance behind that just in general. And I would love to see more studies like eating habits and eating behaviors as it relates to the theory of planned behavior done with minorities such as African Americans, which was briefly mentioned in my paper with a study that was conducted with one of the paper literature reviews that I had done, which was the authors of that article specifically stated like the theory of planned behavior has been done to conduct many studies to predict and show many intentions for many different behaviors, but not a lot of them have been done with minority groups such as African Americans. So I would be really, really interested to see how a study like the one we did to stop eating when full would I would just be interested to see those results specifically with a larger sample size of African Americans. So thank you for watching.